Wait, I want to know about this. This looks interesting.
Smart doorbells, security cameras, thermostats, tablets, cell phones. Our homes are filled with internet-connected devices. And every year, millions of those products, especially knockoffs that you buy online, can contain a secret digital backdoor that opens up access to your home internet so that anyone, including bad actors, can surf the web as if they were you.
Oh.
Now, cyber criminals are taking advantage of this loophole, leveraging home internet connections and the devices that rely on them to carry out the biggest cyber attacks we've ever seen. All right, the picture frames are down here.
Huh?
To better understand how this backdoor works, I bought a few of these digital devices. I wanted to see what would happen when I connected them in my own home.
Oh, the botnets.
For just under $800 total, I purchased 2 digital picture frames from Amazon and 3 super boxes from Walmart. These are streaming devices that connect to your TV and give you free access to shows and movies.
Wait.
We picked these
Viewbots. Hold on. What if you use all these devices to open up streams on the background of these devices?
Because we heard that they often ship with backdoor software used in cyber attacks. Security experts believe manufacturers are being paid to add this malware, but many people also get tricked into downloading the software onto their phones or computers. Once you connect an infected device to the internet, the backdoor software links up with an intermediary server that's run by what's known as a residential proxy company. These companies are in the business of renting out your internet connection to paying customers, basically allowing their customers to surf the internet in disguise from your home network.
What?
Sometimes this activity is legitimate. Companies can use res proxy networks to see how their ads are being viewed from the perspective of real users. But others use them for nefarious purposes, like hacking or bank fraud. Let's connect this to my test network. Within minutes of turning the devices on, there was a surge of internet traffic on an entirely separate internet connection I set up for this experiment. Visits to gambling, porn, cryptocurrency, and loads of other sketchy websites started pouring in from users around the world. Let's check in and see what this picture frame is doing now.
Okay, I'm on to you.
Huh, this is really strange. There's all these different websites that is definitely not coming from me or.
Oh, this is very strange. What is this? What is this hub login?
It's trying to
Not
access
mine.
Gmail, some cyber police. Someone's trying to use Google Voice. I love you, please don't touch me.net. These residential proxy companies rent out access to tens of millions of home networks around the world. But the problem is actually worse than that. Hackers figured out a way to seize control of these backdoors, and they started taking over these residential networks. Last month, authorities arrested a 23-year-old Ottawa man, saying he'd taken control of more than 1 million of these devices to launch some of the largest cyber attacks anyone had ever seen. I had a hunch.
Cyber attacks are cool though, but with 1 million of these, the viewbots, you could run the biggest viewbot operations of all time.
My picture frames were involved in some of this coordinated cybercrime. So I called Elliot Peterson to find out what law enforcement is doing to investigate criminals who use residential proxies to conduct large-scale attacks. Have you knocked on the door of somebody who's had a device connected to one of these networks?
So I have. It's one of the more interesting parts of my job. So I'll be calling a victim and explaining that I am with the U.S. Department of Defense, that I think they're infected, and they're discovering that there may be this problem with this, overseas manufactured thing they just bought online. And we're really having to sort of talk them into, will you please ship it to us? Because that becomes this basis for the evidence that we can then go after the administrator with. So that is a really frequent occurrence for us.
I've seen residential.
Chad, did they give them money for it though? Like if I bought some piece of shit infected bust machine for like $200, oh yo, give me the machine, we're gonna reverse hack it. I mean, if my daily life isn't problemed by $200, I'm not doing that.
Proxies
I'm
used for certainly legal means. Where do folks generally draw the line between those sorts of activity and what we're seeing on the nefarious side?
The first question we're often looking at is, did the owner of the device consent to this type of behavior? Are they intentionally allowing people to share their internet traffic? And if the answer is no, then I would argue there's not really any legitimate use for that service. You have to try really hard to find residential proxy services where you have a knowing and willing IP address that you're accessing.
Why should consumers care about this, either for themselves or sort of for the broader picture?
Oh, I
They
get it,
should
yeah.
care for themselves because these things put their data at risk, put their internet connection at risk. But when you zoom out and ask the question about why should everybody care,
Chat.
well, people are using.
Chad, what if people sold like Zims or whatever, you know, the controller, and it had one of those things in it? Think about it.
These to do all sorts of crimes.
So many people buy this shit.
So we all want to sort of find and defeat these residential proxy networks.
Comcast is one of the companies investigating this threat and agreed to help conduct a deeper analysis of my data. But first, they showed me how they run their own testing using a Faraday cage. It prevents potentially infected products from connecting to their corporate network or infecting nearby
56
devices.
months have you
Allows
ever
us to
been
put a
to
device
Chez
that
Paris?
has Wi-Fi or Bluetooth or other signals in this box. We know the enterprise around us is protected, and we can do our testing here.
So what does it say about the danger of these devices if this is the lengths that you
Chad, why not make a Faraday office?
have to go through?
We know these devices are accessible by threat actors. We know people can get access to these devices. So we don't want any opportunity for that device to somehow get access to our corporate network, other devices we're testing. We really need it to be completely isolated. We absolutely believe these devices are insecure, some straight out of the box.
Ran these for a couple of months at home and collected all of the traffic going back and
Oh, they plug the thing that is in the box to somewhere else, and then they can work from there. They don't have to be.
forth and sent them to you guys. What did you find?
So in short, what we found was all these devices were doing things you would not have wanted to be doing. So both of them were conducting what we call distributed denial of service attacks. On the streaming device in particular, there were people logging in kind of, I think it was about every 10 minutes or every half hour, repeatedly trying to log into the
Bots. Twitter bots.
device directly.
That's a Twitter bot for real.
That means they weren't
Okay. Okay, really?
just sharing the network, they were trying to hack it.
With these residential proxies, where would you put them in terms of the ecosystem of overall cybersecurity threats?
There's 1,000 cyber threats we could be spending time on. This is about the biggest problem we know of in the consumer space for digital risk right now.
Around the world, ballpark, how many of these devices
What is
are
it? Chat booze? That was it?
The numbers range. We've heard anything from tens of millions. There's
That
some
was me.
estimates
That was
that
me.
say 100 million, even 500 million plus devices. The numbers are outrageous. The most complicated bit to me about this ecosystem, so to speak, is there isn't a clear estimate.
We're not just talking about not safe for work websites that you don't want your boss to see coming by. We're talking about much deeper, sophisticated, even dangerous sorts of activity, potentially.
What we saw in the data you sent us was certainly of that nature, where people were actively trying to control the box remotely. What I will also remind us is it's a set of rotating actors. So who bought it today and who bought it tomorrow and who bought it in 5 minutes, that's all going to change.
Chat, what,
We've seen
what if
nation
things
state
that weren't like
attacks
weird
launch
that you
these
buy
kinds of
had that?
Which means your device sitting at your house is part of a nation state attack against another nation state. Again, something none of us want in our everyday lives and our digital devices. We've seen ad fraud, we've seen ticket scalping, we've seen financial fraud.
You mentioned these sort of
Daddy.
distributed denial of service attacks, which takes lots of actors. It can be nation states, it could be groups of just any sort of threat actor. How do they all leverage these devices to carry out these really bad activities?
Chat,
Let's imagine
what if the device you have, chat, they look at the Wi-Fi around and they DDoS everybody around them, and then it causes a massive like web where everybody gets fucked on at the same time, like a massive like countrywide attack. You know what I mean?
you and I, we pile every friend of ours that we've ever known. We say, hey, at 12 noon on Thursday, let's send a bunch of traffic to some site we're not thrilled with today. That's effectively what a distributed denial of service attack is. But now it's done at massive scale. Let's say 1 million machines, 2 million machines are doing that simultaneously. What we're seeing is through these res proxy networks, that's the initial entry point that creates a whole set of computers, laptops, streaming devices, picture frames, smart refrigerators, all hitting the same site at the same time. Very few sites in the world are resilient to that level of inbound traffic. We have seen some of the largest computer attacks, meaning computers attacking other computers at human request, ever recorded.
Business attacks are very common now. Haven't even done. Yeah, I know. There's a site
So
that shows it.
You go to the same kind of conferences I go to with a bunch of other computer geeks talking about computer geeky things. We will talk about the scale of these attacks being the largest we have ever seen, and some warning there are much larger ones on the horizon if we don't get
But yeah, why are they there though? I feel like, no?
hold of this problem.
Community standards. I mean, yeah, but how do you regulate that though? They would have to test like, and it could be dormant too. You don't know when shit's gonna start popping off. Residential AP market is much deeper than that. Read my previous message. Yeah, this guy in chat knows about some of this shit. He says, it doesn't your own country's infra, bro. The Russian, Chinese, North actors who actually pay people to willingly install these types of boxes, use it to infiltrate IT companies that have fake hires. Okay, yeah, I mean that's like some fucking like this is like foundation wiping. Bro, this is like code rating the infrastructure. Like, chat, you're code rating a country. Like that's kind of crazy. But what if it happened so badly, chat, that you sold a government, like a government like code raid strategy? Yo, guys, I could make this country go offline for like a week and then buy for $1 bill, bitch. You know what I mean? Go back to what?
You've been watching this for a long time. How quickly or slowly would you say SpaceX is able to move when it makes a decision to sort of build?
This just started like 2-3 months ago. They move really fast. They work 24/7 around here. Concrete's always flowing, steel's always being erected. They don't waste any time.
This is Starbase, Texas. It's a company town and the headquarters of Elon Musk's SpaceX.
Wait, this sounds so nice though, what?
Live and sleep. A small army of staff and contractors pour into the site every day from neighboring areas, including Brownsville, the biggest city in Texas's Rio Grande Valley and historically one of the poorest places in the US. At Starbase, SpaceX has been developing a factory, test sites, and launch pads for Starship, a massive rocket it hopes one day will take crews to Mars.
You work there?
Ignition.
This is also mission control for SpaceX's roughly $1.8
All of you guys
trillion
work there.
IPO, expected to be the largest in history. Many employees at Starbase stand to make small fortunes, injecting immense wealth into a region already straining to accommodate Elon Musk's grand ambitions.
I think we're...
What does it say? Baka Chica to Mars. What does that mean?
We're gonna have instant millionaires because of the IPO. There's 19,000 plus cities in the United States. I say 99% of those cities in the US wish they had that opportunity that we've had here in the last few years.
Locals cannot tell SpaceX what they can and can't do, and they've never been able to do that.
I mean, okay.
I run an IT business down here, but this is actually taking up most of my time now. This following SpaceX down here is turning into like a triple overtime job.
Louis Balderas runs a YouTube channel called Avid Space, which operates cameras that track parts of Starbase 24/7. SpaceX has been a private company for more than 20 years and is famously cautious with how it engages with the public and press. Company trackers like Balderas help fill in the gaps.
How would you say this site has like changed in the last like 6-7 years?
It started out with just a few tents and a small launch pad. Now it's like it's literally a city over here now with all the new condos, apartment complexes, the additions to the mega bay.
What does SpaceX use the high bays for?
The high bays and mega bays are being used to build the boosters and the starships. You know, they used to build it out in the middle of...
I don't get it. This guy is like a professional stalker or whatever. Like this guy just sits there and monitors the progress of the company from afar. I mean, that's fucking miserable as shit. That's a pro hater.
The wide open. Yeah. And I guess they also keep us from watching.
SpaceX has had a presence in Cameron County, home to Starbase in Brownsville, since 2014. Back then, the company planned to use the site to launch Falcon 9 rockets, but it later switched to building and flying its Starship vehicles there. In 2024, Musk announced that Starbase would also become SpaceX's new headquarters. Starbase's footprint is limited now, but the city is looking to expand. Municipal leaders want to add more than 7,000 acres nearby. A single state highway is the only road that connects Brownsville with Starbase and Boca Chica Beach, which gets shut down during launches. Last year, SpaceX staff and eligible family members voted to form a new municipality covering the property, giving them the rights and powers of their own local government.
Okay. It's funny to hear the comment of the girl saying, well, nobody can deal with it if SpaceX can do this or can't do this, right? When the fucking municipality, when the cities is allowing it and letting them do it. I mean, if you're gonna get mad, get mad at your own city's council and shit, at your own people.
2016, Eddie Trevino Jr. has served
It's
as
them that's
Cameron County
allowing
judge.
it. They have the power to allow that, and they are allowing that.
And worked closely with SpaceX as the company's operations grew.
There's no hiding the fact that it's a company
Well,
town.
no, it's weird. I'm
There's
just
no
saying it.
mystery to that and what its goal is. But I think based upon the history and the working relationship that we've had from the county with SpaceX overall and now with Starbase, I think we've built up a good enough history and relationship and rapport. It cannot just be that SpaceX is coming down here to literally take the resources, reap the benefit, and then leave the community without any reward.
Starbase has set up services to support SpaceX employees and their families living on site, including an emergency management organization, police department, and even a local court. Also in development, a new park and amenities building, as well as a school for the kids of SpaceX employees called Ad Astra.
Getting engineers to move, I call it the significant other problem.
Yes. It is.
So
and others have jobs. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
They're building everything in.
For Starbase, that was particularly difficult.
Yes.
Since the odds of
They're
finding a non-SpaceX job
Brownsville, Texas.
Pretty low. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's quite difficult. I mean, it's like a technology monastery sort of thing. Remote and mostly dudes.
The SpaceX effect is showing up beyond the confines of Starbase. Brownsville has historically struggled with poverty, and the unemployment rate in the area currently hovers 2 points above the national average. But SpaceX employees and contractors are injecting new spending into the community, and tourists from around the world show up to watch Starship launches.
Yeah, right.
The city's downtown has murals referencing space and Elon Musk.
What's interesting about this area of Brownsville, Texas, I mean, for decades, it was always somewhat of a sleepy border town. Our economy was tied to the Mexican peso.
Yo, you know this guy's eating good. Like I don't give a fuck about whatever the fuck is going on in this video. You know this guy's fucking loaded now.
It's really
He's got
about
houses everywhere, he's
space
chilling.
and energy. And that's really taken this whole region to a whole different level.
This would be a one-bedroom. So
This is a one-bedroom.
Yeah, so this would be a living room here, the kitchen here, and then a bedroom here.
Okay. Raj Patel has been working on hotel real estate projects in the valley for years. His first ever apartment development is being spurred along by SpaceX. Stargaze will offer 206 apartments that cater to a newer group of wealthier renters in the area.
Brownsville didn't used to be this strong of a market, but ever since they announced SpaceX, there's a lot of new employment and a lot of people coming in, and that's created a lot that for rentals. My idea here is, having a community with all the amenities.
It's okay. It's funny because one of my good old buddies, his name is Austin Show. Okay, but initially his show wasn't called the Austin Show. It was called the Raj Patel Show. And it was funny. Here, Raj Patel. Whatever. Yeah,
someone would want, and to enhance their quality of life.
Not everyone feels that SpaceX has been a boon to the area, or that economic benefits, including from the upcoming IPO, are worth the costs.
A lot of people, when you talk to them
It was called
about
that because
Starbase,
that was a character
they
that he
point to
was.
economic development. What do you make of those arguments?
Well, those people are likely employees or benefiting in some way from the existence of this entity. They're not taking into account the damages that are being done, the wastewater dumping in an estuary, the access denial. These jobs are given to people who come from other places. They're not people from Brownsville, because we wouldn't need to move to a little town on the launch pad.
SpaceX needs to clear the area during Starship operations for safety reasons, but the restrictions have upset a number.
Hey. If there was some water dumping happening and there wasn't some company about it, they wouldn't give a fuck. Nobody would give a shit.
Number of people around Cameron County and generated a lawsuit. SpaceX did not respond to requests for comment.
Because it's performative eco-acting. Like, it's fucking bullshit.
The company said it has boosted the local economy, creating jobs and bolstering the tax base, and that it remains committed to addressing environmental impacts and operating safely. Starbase is expected to keep growing.
It's LARPO.
SpaceX wants to step up launches of Starship and hiring at the site, and pretty soon SpaceX will be doing all of this as a public company.
I'll be pretty open. I don't think we're prepared for it. We're doing the best that we can to figure it out, but it's a huge infusion of money coming in. Californians are coming in to my Texas, my Brownsville.
I'm not MAGA. It's just about scanning for people that actually care about something. The people that care about something get shit moving. People that actually care about something, okay, actually they move pieces in the best way that they can to fight against something. Not these people, they talk. They talk. When something is like, oh, well, there's a spotlight on this, I'm gonna talk about this and say this is bad. They don't give a shit. I don't like giving attention to people who actually don't give a shit. They don't care.
Texas, and obviously it's the IPO. So next few months will be interesting as we're seeing an uptick in economic activity, speculation.
We're looking at the future, and we see a bright future because of the.
Because if they cared, they would have enough knowledge about the situation to explain to you in detail what's happening. Okay, I was born here in 1998, and we used to have this much level of water contamination, and we could drink the water off the tap. But these days, here's what I got a sample of the water we got these days right here that's taken from the tap, from the near the space in 2026, and look how dirty it is. And this, now I'm okay. This person actually is showing, displaying the one that they care, and two, that has done the research, and three, what they're saying is somewhat possibly true. They're dumping the water. Like, dude, I'm not being receptive to that. It's just, you're not selling me on that. You're gonna sell me on that.
The IPO because of the rising income levels.
Do you think there's any way that Starbase and what SpaceX does can coexist in that landscape?
There is no coexisting. It is a takeover of a heavy industry and the surrounding infrastructure they need to exist. And what we had is not there anymore.
And what is that? And what is that? What is the thing that was there that isn't? It's a fucking desert. It's a fucking sandbox Minecraft wiped out sand zone, lady. What the fuck was there? What? I don't see it, man.
And the surrounding infrastructure they need to exist. And what we had is.
If it happens in Montreal, then what? Buddy, they could nuke the city. I don't give a shit. This city is full of holes. Families get engulfed. Family gets swallowed by the pothole monsters. Families go down inside potholes and die. Like, dude, hey, man, you think I will give a shit? Fucking fix the fucking goddamn thing, man.
It's not there anymore.
He's right, but who is he talking to?
Okay. Really? You're not gonna give my credit. You're not gonna give my credit there. No, not this one. Not this one. You got the wrong one. The pothole that swallows an entire fucking core. It is a pothole actually. Chat. wasn't even how many Arab teams made the World Cup. I thought that all the countries go to World Cup.
This is Mohamed Salah, one of the most accomplished players in football. He's been the English Premier League's top goal scorer 4 times, has won several league titles, and even has his own song.
Okay, I'm gonna take a wild guess. If I were to guess, I would say maybe because to play in the World Cup, you need to be of a certain nationality, and you can kind of choose based on where you were born and nationalities. And there's a possible okay. Oh, whatever.
But Mo Salah has only played in 1 FIFA World Cup. In 2018,
I need to refresh because it's bugged. Yeah, we'll give it to Ryan. Okay, Jason, what are you doing?
One of the most accomplished players.
What's up with this thing at the bottom?
He's been the English Premier League's top goal scorer 4 times. Has won several. But Mo Salah has only played in 1 FIFA World Cup. In 2018, for his home country, Egypt. Riyad Mahrez also has a case full of trophies, but only 1 World Cup appearance for Algeria.
Why?
It's an old problem for footballers who represent Arab countries. Their fingerprints are all over the biggest competitions, just not the World Cup. And a big reason is FIFA, who in the past have only created a few slots for Asian and African teams at the World Cup. The most Arab teams to qualify was 4 in 2018 and 2022.
I don't get it.
But that's all changing at this World Cup. Because FIFA grew the field from 32 to 48 teams, and the number of Arab teams who qualified doubled to 8. It's an historic achievement for a football-obsessed region that's long been confined to the sport's margins. But Arab teams' success is more than the result of some FIFA rule change. It's also the result of an unprecedented investment by Arab states to move up football's hierarchy and the world's.
That's cool. I like that.
Having a seat at the table by tapping into something where people are bound to pay attention.
So this is the story of how 8 Arab teams made the FIFA World Cup. It's a story about how valuable football has become and where in the world it's headed next.
Well, just the thing, that means the investment hasn't just been now. It hasn't been before. Because to create good talent, you must lay out a foundation for our sports to intake into the culture, for the children to play it, to grow the talent. And then you have a talent to pull from. In the end, you cannot just buy some guy. Oh, I need to get a guy who's 20 years old, 20 or 30, that's in his prime, is going to play soccer well from that country. Dude, you don't have a lot to choose from. Unless you invest into the infrastructure, the bottom layer foundation of the sport, and you have to seep into the culture.
There was supposed to be an Arab team at the first World Cup in 1930. 14 countries, including Egypt, accepted FIFA's invitation. But Egypt's team got caught in a storm on the way. They missed the tournament and the chance to represent a region where football was more than a sport.
No!
Just half a century earlier, Europeans brought football with them as they colonized North Africa and the Middle East. But they excluded Arabs from playing it. So some Arabs established their own clubs. First in Egypt, then Tunisia and Algeria. By the 20th century, these clubs were a source of pride for thousands of Arab fans. And
who did that? I'm gonna cancel that. I'm canceling them. I don't give a shit. Who did that? Who did that? Me! Me! What do you mean me?
Also, tools for resistance.
It becomes a way through which a national identity gets formed.
Abdullah Al-Arian is a professor at Georgetown University in Qatar.
And once clubs become established, there's a sense of wanting to demonstrate your kind of national belonging on a global stage. Things like participating in the Olympic Games or gaining membership in FIFA become markers of national identity.
Egypt won formal independence in 1922.
You know what's interesting about this? Is that you can literally test that in real time with not even that much money. You can literally grow a culture and you can improve a talent in a certain area. Let's say I were to come out, chat, with the Minecraft World Cup, and I put prizes locally for certain countries or whatever, and I made the World Cup, bang. The skill level of Minecraft players would go bang. People would do some shit you'd never seen before, and it wouldn't even cost that much money, just because the people do it for free. People are internet right now. They don't even stream it. They do it for free. Think about it. You put a little bit of money, and the talent goes crazy. You can see and test this out
then made
in
it to
real
the second World
time.
Cup in 1934. And between the 1930s and 60s, more Arab countries won independence and joined FIFA. But none appeared in a World Cup. Conflicts, poverty, and political upheaval made it difficult for many Arab countries to organize and enter their teams. But for those that did, FIFA still made it hard for them to get in. As FIFA grew, it created rounds of qualifying matches before what it started calling the World Cup finals. It grouped teams by continent and had them compete for the 16 slots. At first, FIFA put Arab teams in the Europe group against the strongest teams.
Well, that's god
In
awful.
1950, Syria couldn't get past Turkey. And in 54, Egypt was crushed by Italy.
What?
In 1962, FIFA put the 2 Arab teams in an Africa group. Morocco won, but then had to play Spain.
One
For 30
team?
years, the Arab team's path to a World Cup
They had to play Spain? What?
Was simply too narrow. Some Arab players were good enough to make top European clubs, but FIFA refused to give their countries more slots at the World Cup.
I think there's certainly a Eurocentrism to the way that the game developed. As a result, there was always a hesitation to kind of water down or dilute the game in a way that would create tournaments with far less of a competitive balance.
In 1966, 15 fed-up African countries boycotted the World Cup and finally got FIFA to budge.
Okay. Yo, respect that. I respect that.
FIFA gave Africa and Asia-Oceania each 1 automatic slot. Morocco became the first Arab team to qualify for the World Cup in 36 years.
No.
Then 8 years.
No. If I was Morocco, I boycott again. Is it? Oh yeah, guys, we're gonna show up. Thanks for the invitation. I'm not showing up again. Fuck you. We want 4 slots. They get 4 slots. I'm boycotting again. None of them show up. Bam. We want 6 slots. Like, bro, you make it balance, man.
Years later, Tunisia followed. With 3 stunning goals against Mexico,
Okay, more like
became
4.
the
4
first Arab
stunning.
country to win a match at a World Cup.
In the second half that they've come up with a marvelous victory.
In 1982,
This is not
FIFA expanded the World.
This is not a meritocracy. That is a very bad way of using the word. A meritocracy would be balancing this by sub-regions, by population density. How many people do you have here? How many slots per people? Not just, this continent gets 1 slot. Just be good. And then you make them play against European teams. How is that meritocracy? That's bullshit.
And added more slots for Africa and Asia. At least 2 Arab teams qualified for the next 4 tournaments. And after the World Cup expanded again in 1998, Arab teams became regulars and advanced deeper into the tournament.
So where's
in the
China?
2014 knockout round, Algeria pushed Germany into extra time. Then in 2022, Morocco beat Spain to make the quarterfinals. Then it beat Portugal to make the semifinals. Arab teams were surging right as FIFA was about to expand the World Cup again in 2026. It would give African and Asian teams 17 slots out of 48, plus a path through 2 intercontinental
You guys make fun of me for saying 6 is what they should have fought for. They got 9. Got 9.
playoffs. Suddenly there was a wide
I wasn't
open
even
path
off- I
for
wasn't
not
off the mark.
2 or 3, but several Arab teams to make the World Cup. They would have to beat fierce competition. But Arab team success wasn't a fluke. It was the result of a decades-long effort by Arab governments to improve their teams. And it was just starting to pay off.
I like that.
So I
That's
just got a new
cool.
passport. It was for a trip to Montreal last month. But I
Really?
was a little bummed to see they don't seem to really use stamps anymore. I used to love to look at my old passport.
You didn't come see me?
Or to see all the places I went. Another thing they don't tell you is that when you land in a foreign country, your phone is basically a brick until you figure out the data. But that's why when I get an exclusive 15% off discount at
very cool.
Snap or go to Saley.com/searchparty. So the next time you want to get out and fill up your passport,
I'll
check out
link his video.
In the early 2000s, some Arab governments were
My fucking
growing more
Kit Kat
ambitious.
bugging out.
They were building wealth and looking to turn it into economic and political power.
Yeah, you
At
didn't
the
check
same
in,
time,
so-
football was drawing viewers from all over the world. The World Cup was becoming a giant stage. And if Arab states could improve how their teams performed on it, they could reap the benefits at home.
If they can tap into something that millions upon millions of citizens have very strong.
The FIFA should give a prize pool that isn't money for the winners. It should be a prize pool of some scholarships or some money for local teams of the country that wins. If your country wins or gets to a certain amount or a certain place, they invest into the local infrastructure of talent development in that. What's up with this fucking camera? Fucking Logitech, whatever the. You guys' shit is trash. It's trash, buddy.
Passions for that. This is something that then gives the regimes themselves particular boost.
And abroad.
At the same time, this is a way to sort of
Wait, they
put
do
them on
that?
the map, being recognized as a considerable political and economic actor, both regionally but also globally.
Arab states deployed 3 broad strategies. First, the North African states focused on recruiting foreign-born players. Generally, FIFA lets players represent the country they're born in, have citizenship in, or the country their parents or grandparents were born in. Thousands of players in Europe.
Whoa, go back. What?
In, or the country. Generally, FIFA lets players represent the country they're born in, have citizenship in, or the country their parents or grandparents were born in. Thousands of players in Europe have parents and grandparents from Arab countries, meaning they're eligible to play for Arab countries.
Grandparents?
For decades, FIFA said if they appeared for a country's team, even at a junior level, they were locked in for life. Meaning that by the time Arab teams found.
So, chat, you become a good player and you fucking camp. You wait. You say, no, I'm not playing the World Cup. Sorry. You wait, and when you find who is good, you play for that country. I mean, I'm not playing for a fucking losing team.
When I started covering the game, we would get leftovers.
Maher Mazahi is a journalist based in Algeria.
Players that were 28, 29, 30 years old that really had no shot really of ever playing for France anymore. And it's really North Africa that's at the heart of the change of FIFA legislation.
In 2004, Algeria pushed FIFA to allow junior-level players under 21 years old to switch nationalities, then continued to get FIFA to loosen the rules. Eventually, players born in France, Germany, England...
What? That's fucking bright. That's busted.
And all over Europe started switching to play for the Arab states of their parents and grandparents. Many of these players were very good. Some were superstars. So Arab countries looked for more.
The Moroccan Football Federation has 4 professional scouts in 4 main Western European nations. They go and they contact these players from a very young age, explaining the project to them.
Meanwhile, Qatar and the UAE used a second strategy, recruiting players with no connection, just by giving them citizenship.
Oh, come on, guys, really?
That's how Qatar made a Uruguayan, a Brazilian, and a Ghanaian eligible to play for its national team virtually overnight.
I mean, they allow it, Chad. Don't get mad at the country. Get mad at the game. If FIFA, let's say FIFA was pressured, then they're caving in. Their fault. If they make the rules like this, their fault. I'm not gonna blame a country for playing the rules. Imagine the countries that have been playing by the rules for a fucking 200 years or some shit. These guys are as, if not more guilty than these guys doing this shit. It's why I don't like when people say, "Oh, dude, these guys bought the talent." What these guys have been doing for fucking 2,000 years before Jesus Christ, before the invention of water.
And it prompted FIFA to tighten its rules, requiring players to have a family connection or spend years in a country before playing for it. It slowed down the strategy, but didn't end it. Finally, a few Arab countries invested billions into their talent pipelines, namely by building football academies.
Oh wait, as I said,
with pristine pitches, advanced facilities, and world-class coaching, these academies turned prodigies into pros. Some countries, like Saudi Arabia, also gave superstars huge contracts to play in their domestic leagues and raise the competitiveness for their national players.
I respect that.
The eligibility requirements, but the conditions to play football for a national team have changed as well. And that's what's made it a lot easier to attract some of these very talented
players. Because you never know what is the true end goal, end point. Maybe think, oh, it's just damaging to the sport. Yeah, sure, now, but it expands the sport beyond what it is at now.
xqcL.
And the sport gets a reward, and that means making it more global.
Altogether, these strategies comprised an unprecedented effort to improve Arab football teams. Between 2015 and 2022, the median FIFA ranking of Arab teams climbed from 110th to 87th. Several landed in the top 50. And at the next World Cup, the rest of the world took notice.
Holy shit. Damn, son. Yo, Chad, I mean, Chad, it must be cool to see your investment pay off in real time. That's kind of cool.
And at the next World
I mean,
Cup,
you pay
the
to
rest
win
of
and
the
you see it
world took
happen
notice.
right now.
Not only did Morocco make the semifinals, but the tournament was in Qatar, which spent at least $220 billion to host the first World Cup in the Arab world. 2022 was proof that their investment in football was paying off.
But having the World Cup in particular kind of really shone a light on this region and generated a tremendous kind of interest.
That's a whole kind of worms that we're not open right now, but
dethrone Egypt as the #1 travel destination in Africa. I think that goes hand in hand, one with the other.
Over the next couple of years, Arab teams continued to improve. And so when qualifying for the 2026 World Cup began, there was not only a wide open path, there were several Arab teams good enough to take advantage of it. Jordan struck first. Ali Alwan's 3 goals against Oman launched his country into its first World Cup. Next, Morocco, Tunisia, and Algeria cruised through. The North African teams got a boost from foreign-born players and academy graduates. Saudi Arabia qualified, and so did Qatar, who relied on...
I think that citizenship after being an adult shouldn't be allowed. I think if you're a citizen of a country, after you're 18, whether you change nationality, you have a new passport, it shouldn't count. It should be your parents only, where you were born, or where you always resided, and then you're locked.
Naturalized players and academy graduates.
Because what if okay. My mom is Canadian. My dad, let's say, is Polish. Okay, and I lived in the U.S. my entire life, but then I moved to Lithuania growing up. I was all the way till I was 18 and 20, but then I actually moved to China the next year, and now I'm a citizen of China. I'm Chinese. Fuck my dad, my mom, my roots, where I'm from, my city. Fuck y'all. I'm Chinese. I'm playing for China now. Well, whoa. I mean, I think this for a World Cup scenario, I don't think it makes sense. I don't think it makes sense at all. I don't think it doesn't make sense. It's not what World Cup is about, in my opinion. It loses the heart and the soul of what a World Cup is.
Egypt followed, led by a captain determined to make his second World Cup appearance.
Towards Salah, and Mohamed Salah has a second of the contest, his 9th of this qualifying campaign.
In early 2026, an 8th Arab team was taking the long way. Iraq missed qualifying
I don't know what
against Saudi
nationalists
Arabia
mean, but I don't think it's
and
bad.
eked out a win against the UAE, then another win against Bolivia to reach its first World Cup in 40 years.
Is nationalism bad? Is nationalism bad? I thought that nationalism is a common political ideology asserting that should be congruent with a sovereign state. It means a culture. No, I think if you're only mass full like radical nationalism is bad. Yeah, I would agree. But I think a hint of nationalism isn't bad. Like feeling some form of identity, some form of this is where I belong with the country you're born in is perfectly okay. I think that's actually good. It's what keeps us. It's what keeps the clock ticking. It makes you feel like you're part of something. Life is all about being and wanting to be part of something, being part of the wave, right? And if that means where you're born and the people around you, that's cool. It gives you something even more to have and to belong to, and that makes people feel human. That makes people feel alive, and I think that's good. It doesn't, and it's not because then you're super ultra nationalism. It's not black and white. It gives you some gray. Yeah, a low dash nationalism. How is that a problem?
Arab teams had an historic chance to make this world.
And here's a check to see if you're being performative or not. I'm not saying, this is bad. I'm sure some sport you don't give a shit about, like soccer or whatever the fuck, or Olympics. Your country was part of that, or was part of that. I'm sure you were like, oh, that's cool. What made you say, oh, it's cool that your country did something? Whatever. Because you feel like you belong there. Because you feel that's the ounce of nationalism that's within you that you refuse to acknowledge, even though you are and you do that. You do that. If I didn't say, I'm not ignoring chat. Patriotism equals nationalism. Dent. It's part of it. It's part of
Their
it.
monumental investment in football allowed them to actually achieve it.
You guys are
Now,
you guys
big
are doing a subcategory of an umbrella because you want to label something so you can say that it is bad. You're doing something called the modern hyper labeling of, oh, this thing that is clearly part of this, it's a new label. It's actually just this, that. So all this is still ew. No, this is by itself. No. Ew. That's bullshit. I hate people who do that. I hate people who do that. It's weird.
The question is, how far can they go?
That's a tough one, to be honest. I mean, I would look at a country like Iraq. Again, there's an expectation that Morocco will not just be there, but will kind of be a favorite, whoever they're playing against.
I think Morocco
what I
can
said.
recreate what they did in 2022. Jordan are cohesive enough, coherent enough to probably surprise a lot of people.
I also asked Search Party subscribers and new press members.
It's quite obvious I have this Morocco shirt on from the World Cup 2022. I support Morocco.
I'm Jordanian, so I'm obviously rooting for Jordan.
Abdullah hopes Iraq can keep up its momentum.
We hope that we can.
You're from there and you root for your team? Dude, that's nationalism. That's fucking nationalism. Are you a nationalist, you fucking mother sucker? Holy I can't believe they're doing that.
Being the black horse of the competition.
That's what Chad was saying earlier.
Omar is setting a high bar for everyone.
At least one has to reach the semifinal.
No matter how far an Arab team makes it at this World Cup, it's safe to expect they'll keep advancing deeper in the future. Egypt's under-23 team made the semifinals of the 2024 Paris Olympics. Morocco became the first Arab team to make the Women's World Cup and advance to the knockout round.
Well, I didn't know that was a thing yet.
And Morocco beat Argentina to win the under-20 FIFA World Cup. But there's this one thing everyone I spoke to for this story said that I found interesting. You know, when England is eliminated, English fans don't start cheering for France.
Some people have no chance to play for their home country, so they play for other countries to play in the World Cup so they can get scouted.
Yeah, I mean, I don't mind it, right? But that causes almost a parasitic nature, right? That will make players never compete for their country because they don't have a chance. And countries, they just never have a chance because of those rules. They should make the rules a certain way so that the talent wants and ultimately comes from that location. I understand back in the days it was different, but as the world progresses into the future, there should be an effort to curb the rules to make it as local as possible because that's what World Cup is about. You want to have your fucking cup bullshit, then go to the fucking UK Champions League and do all that. But don't give me this, oh, we're doing the World Cup, but it's actually just you can play for whoever we want. And that's a global league, not a World Cup. It's different.
Brazilians don't start cheering for Argentina. Yet Arab fans said that when their team gets eliminated, they're more than willing to cheer for another Arab team.
It would be a shame to not support any Arab team. Morocco, Algeria, they share nearly the same culture, the language, and I think they are neighbors, so I would support them.
Football fans across the Arab world will be rooting for each and every
Very cool, I like that.
teams. That's how the Arab world works.
I think because historically the odds have been so stacked against us, we've only had one place to represent the.
I would like to say that this is entirely true, but I'm French Canadian and I don't want France to win. I like some of y'all. I like some people that live in France. It's all good, but we don't agree eye to eye on everything, and I don't root for y'all. I don't want you to lose, but I'm not rooting for you.
It means that any Arab team that goes deep in a World Cup doesn't just carry a country, it carries a whole region. All right, thanks so much for watching another episode of Search Party. If you haven't subscribed yet, now's your...
Behind me, right there, the World Cup.
No, I'm not. Why China sucks at football? I'm not gonna watch this one. I think this is almost offensive, low-key. Interesting.
Going on. This time with 48 teams instead of the usual 32. But I feel like it's still missing something this time around.
I think they just don't give a shit.
Oh, right. It's not nearly Chinese enough. Given how large and rich and powerful...
Skipping that. I just you want to play a Dario, brother?
China is nowadays. Don't you feel like they should be at the World Cup And it's not
What
even
up?
that China doesn't care about sports.
Did you
They
do like a
posted
bunch of
two-
off-stream stuff after the off-stream stuff?